Hello and welcome back to Board Game Acrobat, where today we're going to have a look at this game here, Codenames, the Marvel Edition. So, Codenames is a 2 to 8 plus player game. It is for ages 9 up and plays in about 15 minutes. It is by Vlada Shivato, and again, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Well, the front cover for this straight away, I do quite enjoy the silhouettes and then quite a few characters around the side. So, yeah. Shield agents and Hydra agents compete to identify all of their team's asset cards displayed on a secret grid. Only each team's director knows the location of the asset cards their team is trying to find. And the director gives clues in the form of code words that will help their agents find these Marvel assets. Agents must be careful not to decipher a code incorrectly so they don't help the other team, or worse, pick the assassin and lose immediately. It's a race to identify all of your team's asset cards first. Yeah, I think, especially if you're a fan of Marvel, this is very nice because of, if you're familiar with Codenames, there's Codenames where it is just pictures and just the words, and then there's Codename Pictures with pictures as well. But Codenames Marvel, if I get this open, gives you a choice. So on one side of the cards you have all the pictures, and on the other side you have just the words, the names of what's on the card. And yeah, I like that because it just gives you a little choice. So I just like this background there. It just gives you a choice on how to do it, and it really adds to the replayability of this version of the game. So, just a quick go through of how this game works is you shuffle all of these cards, you put them into a 5x5 grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the way I like to do it is set out the outline and then put the cards in throughout, just to make sure the order is just a tiny bit more random. I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing, I'm just placing them all down in the spaces that they need to go. So yeah. And there you have your grid. Keep those up now. Okay, and then again, if you're familiar with Codenames at all, you'll have 16 cards in Codenames. However, in the Marvel version of it, these are the Infinity Gems. So if it is a blank space where neither team's agents are, you'll get the Infinity Gems put there instead of civilian cards, and then right at the end you have the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, there is a variant to play in this game, which is the Infinity variant, which basically means if a team, you put the Infinity Gauntlet at the back of the Citizen cards, and then if a team finds all of them, and you get down to the Infinity Gauntlet, and the last place is, and then the last civilian card is found, the Infinity Gauntlet goes down, which means Thanos has all power in the universe and the other team wins. The team who found the Infinity Gauntlet loses. And again, if you're familiar with the game, the assassin in this version of the game is Thanos. And if someone finds the Thanos card, again, that's an automatic lose and the other team wins. So, you'd split into 2 teams, and one person from each team would then become the person giving out the clues, and you randomly pick from this pile here, spin it around a couple of times, and then put this little stand on the bottom so that both players given clues knows which side is which. And then on this card, you can see where the red team needs to find, where the blue team needs to find. The yellow is the assassin. All of the blank spaces are civilians or infinity stones up to infinity gauntlet. And the colour around the edge here is blue, meaning blue team go first. So, as I've already said, this is blue team against red team. So we've got shield agents, which will be the blue team, and hydra agents, which will be the red team. And depending on who goes first, there is this double-sided one. And as blue team's going first, they get an extra blue card. So play would then work from the person given the clue would start with the blue team. So they would say their clue, which needs to be a one-worded clue, such as hair, and then they'd say how many cards that clue represents. So they might say hair 3, helmet 2, fire 1, that kind of thing. And then the blue team can discuss amongst themselves all they like. They can be like, I think that's Brute, I think that's Medusa, I think it's Lockjaw, whatever they want. But as soon as they put their finger down on the card, they either find out, yes, it was one of their agents, which means they get one of their cards in it, or that it was a civilian, and so that one of the infinity gems would go on it, or it's the assassin, meaning they lose the game entirely, or some would argue worse, some would argue not as worse as the assassin because you win, you lose automatically, or it's one of the enemies, which means a red card goes on it. Now you can go back to old clues that you didn't quite get all of them in future rounds, as long as you get all your clues for that round. And play continues like that until either one team finds the assassin and loses, or the first team gets rid of all of their, or finds all of their agents out on the field and wins, or if you're playing the infinity variant, if one team gets it all the way down to the infinity gauntlet, they lose. And that in a nutshell is how you play Codenames Marvel. There is a more in-depth how to play on this channel, so if you're looking more into that, make sure you go check out that video. It will also explain 2-player and 3-player variants. Okay, so my thoughts about this version of Codenames. Well, first of all, I really do enjoy that the civilians are the Infinity Gems working your way down to the Infinity Gauntlet. So you're finding them all kind of for Thanos. And the Infinity variant, I think that's quite nice. It just adds another way of losing. It's going to be very hard to find all the civilians. I keep saying civilians, but it doesn't feel right because they're gems. It's going to be very hard to find them all, but it's definitely possible. The replayability of this game is very big, I'd say, as you're never going to know where everything is just by learning the patterns, because there's just too many of them, and because as all of them work 4 different ways, it's going to be very difficult to try and learn, or as much as you play, it's going to be hard to just get used to the patterns kind of thing, no matter how long you're playing for. So that's quite nice. There's also the fact that for this middle square, not only are these, there is also this pile here still, and a whole nother pile. So there's so many cards that can be in the middle, and you get to choose between pictures or words. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Meaning, not only is like where everything's going to be almost going to be impossible to like predict, but it's also going to be quite hard to figure out, like create kind of word associations. So this means this card, because of the amount of cards that there are, it's going to be a while before you can get back to it, and that's just unlikely that you're going to remember what meant what in the past and that kind of thing. Shield versus Hydra, classic. That's to be expected. There's obviously 2-player variants, and there's variants where you don't have to be in a team, where you're just kind of against the game, and that brings up out a nice thing as well. So yeah, if you're a fan of Marvel, definitely. If you're not a fan of Marvel, it works as if it's any other Codenames game. The only thing I have had with this is if people are a fan of Marvel and they're playing with people who know Marvel a bit less, that can sometimes defeat their energy going into it, because they feel defeated already, because they feel the people who know Marvel are going to win automatically, even though, like I said, it's just like any other Codenames where it's word association. It depends how you see it. It's up to you. So I feel you've got to be a bit careful with that, but I don't think you need to know Marvel to enjoy this game, or even enjoy I don't think you need to know Marvel entirely to even enjoy, such as like just the pictures, the what we've got here. You wouldn't need to know Marvel to play this game in the slightest, and you'd still have just as much fun. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this version of Codenames. I hope this video was useful to you. If it was, please do leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. It means so much. And until next time, share the love of board games.